Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. Today we about to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're gonna talk about Love and Marriage. We're gonna talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I forgot the name of the episode, but essentially I'm here to talk to y'all about probably about 3 or 4 things. We're gonna talk about Nell, how Nell is arriving and working for her check. We're gonna talk about Marsau and what his issue is with women. We don't really know. And lastly, we're gonna talk about Kiki. Are y'all believing it? Is she sick? What's going on? So that's gonna be the series of events. That's pretty much what this episode was about, y'all. I guess Martell was not in the episode because he's still trying to find a home to film in. But that's just my assumptions. Who knows? Like, where's Martell? Where's Juan Dixon? Not Juan Dixon. Where's Jamal? Where's Jamal? Okay. So let me go ahead and say hello before we get started. Hey Keisha. Hey Apple, Shay K, Necey D, Caroline, Lisa Mack, Marilyn, Jasmine. Hey Barb. Hey J Dub, Miss Cookie Ray, and Pacino Rules. All right. So y'all, like, I can't help but to do this, okay? I can't help but to do this. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about the episode. Because like now I've gotten into the habit of watching these episodes twice. So I watch it once without my notes, and then the second time I watch it and then I take my notes. Cause it's like, okay, let me absorb the show, let me enjoy it, let me think about it, and then I'm gonna take notes and type word for word what happened. And I just want to know where y'all think the episode landed. For me, I didn't think that the episode was really all that. It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a bad episode. It just, whenever I really think about everything that happened, I just wasn't moved. It maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I wasn't moved. Um, Pacino says overall she was entertained. Hey T, hey Candy, Makia. J Doug said he watched it twice. Miss Cookie Ray says 7 out of 8. Based on the reviews, it was hilarious. Sade Adams says, I don't even watch this show. I just like the shade you be throwing with me. Who? Me? What shade? Girl. And Shay K says 6 out of 10. Keisha Boo says 8. And then my kid says that she feels bad for Kiki's druggy edit. Y'all, that's something that I like really want to talk to y'all about. Should we talk about that right now? Might as well. Let's just talk about that right now. Okay. So it's time for the baby reveal, right? And before we get into the events of what happened at the actual baby reveal, I want to talk to y'all about Kiki obviously not being there since we didn't brought it up. So for those of y'all who don't watch the show, if you don't remember last episode, Tiffany sent out her invitation because she wanted everybody to come meet baby Ace at the baby reveal. She invited everybody, even though she was saying to Mel, what are we going to do about our brands? Do you think that Kiki is somebody that we should have around for our brand images? And Mel essentially told her, girl, you do you, I'm going to do me. I support Kiki. If you're not comfortable being around her, then don't be around her, right? And to me, I feel like by Tiffany inviting Kiki to this event really just solidified what I thought was going on. I felt some type of way about it because to me, what Tiffany was doing was one of my number one pet peeves in any friend group. And it don't even have to be friends, just any group, period. Y'all know how I be feeling. And what I always say, if you feel strongly about something, say it with your chest, okay? You don't need everybody around you. You don't need to have all these additional discussions to get people to rally around and then make the decision for you. So it kind of felt like, hey, We above Kiki. Can we ice her out? And that's kind of what we was given. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that Tiffany was full of shit is because as soon as she got, a final answer from the leader, Nell, which was, I'm not icing Kiki out. I'm still going to fuck with Kiki. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, well, you can come to my baby reveal. Y'all, in what world does that make sense? You are super messy, Tiffany, which is why I love you for the show, right? But when you came on the show, you was talking about Monster. You came on the show trying to shake the tables, talking about the children, right? You trying to talk about the kids. But you think that Kiki allegedly stealing from the Home Depot is going to ruin your brand. But because Mel is still fooling with her, you want to invite her to something as intimate as a baby reveal? Make it make sense. It don't make no sense at all. The math is not mathing. So we just gonna say we know how Tiffany was moving. Now, as far as Tiffany not being at the event, y'all, not Tiffany, my bad. I'm trying to grab some chapstick. So as far as Kiki not being at the event, Kiki claims that she been sick. She has been going to go see all these doctors that she can't even pronounce. I forgot what the first doctor was, but then she said a gastrointestinal doctor or whatever, stomach doctor, whatever it is. And I'm just like, Kiki, to me, I'm going to tell y'all what I think. And then y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? Hold on. Before we even get to that, and y'all, don't let me forget this, okay? Don't let me forget. But before we get to that, I would like to know, when I did my review of the first episode, when they returned, I told y'all that it was my opinion that Kiki was stealing in the Home Depot. That was my opinion. And I got a gang of comments from people saying that it wasn't Kiki stealing and that, she's actually suing them because they actually just used her footage and it was somebody else, right? So the reason why I'm circling back to this is because I would like to know, where are y'all getting this information from? Where are y'all getting this information from? I'm not saying that y'all are wrong, but I am saying that this Love and Marriage Huntsville tea be moving too damn fast. And I'm like, Jada, I'm like, where was y'all getting this information from? Somebody tell me. After I went live, I had to make a community post and ask, like, where's this information coming from? Because I want y'all source. I want to know what's going on since I'm speaking on it. And nobody answered me. Nobody answered me and told me, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But, that's exactly what I was thinking. They're getting it from Facebook fan groups. Y'all know that the people on this show watch the reviews, they be in the comments. So y'all know for damn sure they be in the Facebook fan group. So what makes y'all think that Kiki and her people ain't in the Facebook groups rewriting the story? Like, I'm not understanding. So I will say this. Innocent until proven guilty, but I'm gonna tell y'all that I think she did that shit. Okay, I think she did, and it is what it is. So the reason why I feel like Kiki didn't come to the shower, and maybe why Kiki is sick and breaking down in sweats and everything else, is potentially because she got anxiety. Like, Kiki said it on the interview. Okay, I guess. But I think she got anxiety. When you're on the show, you potentially get caught up for something that you allegedly did not do. Shout out to Alexander. You're going to be nervous. You're not going to want to come around. And you might not want to come around so much that you work yourself up to get sick. So towards the end of the episode, y'all, we actually get a scene with Kiki and her husband. I don't know her husband's name. Y'all probably know it. Somebody tell me his name. He in the kitchen cooking, and she's talking about how she would hate to miss the baby reveal, and She hates that people are probably assuming that she's not coming around because of what's going on. And that's never been her. She's not worried about what people say about her, and that, she's sick and she just really wants the doctors to figure out what's wrong with her so she can get back to coming around and not miss all the important events. And thank you, Harold. Amin. Anyway, y'all, I don't think Kiki's sick. Okay, if she is sick, I think that Kiki is maybe a little bit sick, and mentally she is making herself a whole lot sick, because your emotional worries will turn physical, and that's exactly what I think it is. So who knows? But okay, come through. Says the show did do a disclaimer that the charges have not been filed against Kiki. Yeah, they did. But my point when I was talking to y'all the week before last was, who gonna press charges on a $10 lock? Who gonna press charges on a $10 lock? The news station who posted Kiki knew from somebody in the studio or somebody at home. Somebody told them, I have a video of a reality TV star from the city, and you should post it on your 6 o'clock news special so you can get more views and potentially get more clicks to your website. So that's what they did. I don't think that Home Depot is going to press charges on a $10 lock, because ultimately I think what they ended up saying, when I say they, I'm talking about what Tiffany said on the screen 2 episodes ago, was that she was picking up something in the store or the little boy was picking up something. They put back everything, but she told him to keep the lock. So there's that. I don't think we're really going to get to the bottom of this at all. I think what it's going to be is just like Kiki was saying. What did Kiki say? She said accused, or what did she say? She said accused or something like formally charged or accused. Basically, like, is it just hearsay, or have I been charged? And if I haven't been charged, there's nothing to discuss. And that's pretty much where we're going to leave it at. So, yes, accused or convicted is what she said. So, somebody down at the news station wanted to get some buzz, and that's that. And Kiki got her story, and she going to stand by it. And her husband gonna stand by it. Now, her husband thinks that the methadone is what's making her sick, and that any medication associated with that, is probably part of the reason why she's sick, and he just don't really like it. So maybe the methadone is why she was sweating like a damn racehorse. But yeah, I mean, if that's something she need to stay on, then it's what it is, right? Okay. So y'all, we are into like part 1. I told y'all it was 3 things we were going to talk about. We was going to talk about Nell. Nell didn't come to play. We was going to talk about Kiki. And then I told y'all that we also was going to talk about Marcel'S and his issue with women. So y'all go ahead and do me a favor and like the video so we can go ahead and knock out these other 2 parts of the episode. Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. Share the video with a friend, okay? Okay. Okay. Hell, you don't remember her sweating like a racehorse 2 episodes ago when she was sitting on the couch talking to men? That girl was sweating like a racehorse. Hey. Okay, cool. So y'all, we at the baby reveal. We at Baby Ace's baby reveal, and it's time for the women to meet Baby Ace. I'm so excited, right? So Tisha arrives, right? And Tisha in her confessional talking about, I didn't RSVP, and Tiffany is known to be messy, but I still wanted to come and show my support because I actually really do like Tiffany. So, ooh, y'all. Are we supposed to be shocked that Tisha showed up for an event where everybody was gonna be? Like, didn't we know that was gonna happen? In my notes, I literally just said Tisha arrives. ... What's the real beef? Like I told y'all last video, I'm glad that Tisha decided to show up to the event, because who was not gonna watch a whole season of Tisha turning her arch nemesis from Mel to Tiffany was me. I wasn't gonna do it. I don't care. I don't care about Tisha and Tiffany beefing. It was no real beef. So for you to act like you did her a favor by coming to the shower is wild. Okay? Because let's be for real, you was trying to get in on the film time, and that's just how you do on a reality TV show. So yeah, whatever. The beef is fake. Now, as Tisha shows up, she says hello to everybody. Oh, and one other thing, Tisha, girl, you look good in that jumpsuit. You looked real good in a jumpsuit. And I immediately thought back to whenever I was like, what did I tell y'all last season? I think I told y'all last season, like, Tisha will never be that girl. And I still stand by that. I don't think Tisha ever gonna be that girl. But she was looking real good in that denim jumpsuit. I was like, okay, girl, I see you. I see you. Anyway, as Tisha arrives, she, gives everybody a hug, and Stormy kind of gives her a dry-ish. She kind of gives her a little tap tap, and it's just like, what's going on? Now, one of the things I want to talk to y'all about is, yeah, Tisha trying. One of the things I wanted to talk to y'all about was Tisha in her confessional says that she don't know what's going on with Stormy, because when they're on the phone, they good. Like, they're kikiing, they already talked it out, there's no beef. But whenever she's in front of the group, it's a whole different energy. Now, y'all, what did I tell y'all about Stormy last season? If y'all done been here before, and I know y'all have because we friends, right? We friends. So at this point, y'all know what we done talked about. I done told y'all that Stormy, to me, is the type of girl who likes to appear as if she's too real for the reality bullshit, who will talk a lot of shit to the group. One-on-one, she don't like conflict. One-on-one, she don't like confrontation. So she will make up with you one-on-one, just like she did Nell, y'all. We saw her pull her aside. We saw Mel and Stormy pull each other aside and have a conversation, and they was good. We saw how damn bad Stormy wanted to be friends with Destiny. They was good. But in front of the group, you had to, I guess, project a different energy. You did that with Mel when y'all was in the spa last season. And you started to do that with Destiny at the Milani beauty supply store grand opening and closing, because I don't think it's open no more. But anyway, you started to do that. You wanted to like test the water to see how Mel felt about you being cool with Destiny. And when Mel basically gave you the girl, go ahead, y'all be cool, all of a sudden it was like, I just want to make sure we Gucci. I just want to make sure Gucci. And that's the same thing she did to your ass, Tisha. And I don't really feel no type of way about it because we clocked it last season. But what I do think is funny as hell is I know that Stormy has talked mad shit about Mel to Tisha. And then one-on-one with Mel, she couldn't keep the same energy. And then once she got in front of the group, like, you switched it up. So Tisha, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That's the thing. Don't ever think that just because you got a common enemy with somebody that you're getting the authentic version of this person. Like, that's why I don't trust relationships like that. Bonding over who you dislike, bonding over who you beefing with, or bonding who you feel like is giving you short end of the stick. Y'all ain't really cool like that, and y'all never really was cool like that. So I was just like, LOL. I'm not shocked at all that she's treating you like that, Tisha. And yes, Caroline, she did do it with Mel this episode too. And I was so confused because I was like, I thought y'all talked. I thought y'all talked. But it really wasn't enough for me to be moved by it, because just like Pacino said, Mel she didn't give no F's at all. So my thoughts of Stormy, as real as Stormy projects herself to be, I don't think that she's the type of girl that really likes to beef. I think she wants to appear a certain way to people, but Stormy don't really like conflict, and she won't stay mad when you talk to her one-on-one, which is not a bad thing. The bad thing is that you feel like you need to keep up with that same shit talking energy in front of the group. That's the bad thing for me. Okay, so anyway, Tisha comes and sits down at the table, and when she does, she ends up saying that it's a lot of weird energy. So she's like, hey guys, what's going on? Like, why is everybody so quiet? What's going on? Were y'all talking before I got here? And they were like, yeah, actually we were. Kimmy says we was actually talking about the Black Business Expo. And I told y'all, I already said it, but I feel like it might just be me, but they are pronouncing the hell out of this Expo. Especially after last season, I feel like the internet collectively, lit Tisha up, calling it the Black Business Expo, because I did. So anyway, Kimmy was like, I think that this should be something that we get feedback on. I think that it'll be good just for you to walk away with like some things that we can do differently. Okay, I'm back. Kimmy says, I think, yeah. Okay. I know I want you. Even Tisha is being sure to say Expo. She said, y'all not gonna catch me slipping. So Kimmy tries to encourage Tisha to get feedback on this event, right? And Tisha says, I don't need feedback. I'm good. The event is over. It's done with. If you feel like you could throw a better event, that's one thing she won't switch up on. She gonna hold on to that event, but she gonna switch up on the Expo. So Tisha ends up saying she don't need feedback. If somebody feel like they could throw a better event, then go ahead and throw it, right? So Nell, let's talk about Nell. Nell shows up, and Nell is ready. Nell is ready to work for her check, okay? She said, Tiffany is out on maternity leave. Coach put me in. I will be your temp. Got to I'm over. Oh, finally. Lisa, finally. Girl, I feel like I've been there. I've been there since at least 5 episodes ago. like, in fact, if you want to know when I got to my I think I'm over Kimmy place, just go look through my videos. I have a live that's called Kimmy, I really don't want to do this. And that was the final breaking point for me. It was. Okay. So let's talk about Nell. Nell ends up talking to Tisha about not being invited to the expo. Now, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention to the last episode, but I was really like, why is Nell so pressed about not being invited to this event? Is what I was wondering. The first time I heard them talk about it, I was like, to me, it just feels like Nell wants to be a part of the comeback group, is what I was thinking. I was wrong. Apparently, we find out that at Mel and Martell's daughter's birthday party, Tisha ends up inviting Nell and her husband to the Black Business Expo, because back then it was the Expo. She ended up inviting them to the Black Business Expo. She's like, I really want y'all to come. Black Business Expo come around. They ain't getting no invite. Chris Fletcher calls Marsau on the phone. Kind of just to have a conversation, but y'all know the real, what happened? Oop. Tiverton says, Kimmy reminds me that I made the right decision to divorce my ninja. Oh, okay. Good for you, as long as you know. Now, anyway, Chris ends up calling Marsau, not to just make small talk, but it seems like he called him to kind of remind him of like, hey, you got the expo tomorrow, right? They end up not inviting him. Now, when they went to the dinner an episode ago, Marsau ended up saying to them something like, y'all are friends of people who we used to be friends with. So that's why we didn't invite you. Now, Marsau did everything but say Melody Holt's name at that dinner table. And it's just really weird to me. Because y'all beef, you act like you're not beefing, then you beefing, then you feel like you can't really be friends with their friends. Martell, drop the damn secrets. Drop the damn secrets, okay? Because it's kind of confusing to keep up with this. Let me see the text message I just got from my friend. I can't. So yeah, Tisha mentioned it to them, and then all of a sudden forgot about it. She apologized. Nell is still going on and on. You don't do that. You're supposed to do this. Tisha turns all the way up because at this point she's feeling a little attacked. First, y'all want to talk about the Black Business Expo. Next, she want to talk about I'm in y'all's chat too hard. I'm like, hold on. I don't want to miss nothing because the conversation is too good, friends. So anyway, yeah, she claims she forgot about it. Okay, whatever. So Tisha's turning up because she's feeling like she's attacked at this point. And she basically tells Nell, it is what it is. It's dead. I apologize. I told you that I couldn't invite you. I didn't invite you. What else do you want from me? What else do you want me to do? Nell says, I don't want nothing from you, right? But this is the thing, y'all. I know Nell is going pretty hard at Tisha and Marsau, which I feel like we've needed somebody to do on the show for a minute. But the reason why I'm not jumping for joy is because Nell is going to fold, y'all. I think Nell just wants to be included. Nell wants to be in the group. I think that's what this is about. I think it's a blend of things, okay? I didn't know that Tisha initially invited Nell. So I do feel like Nell has a reason to complain, right? But on the flip side of things, by Nell continuously talking about it like at the table, kind of made me feel the same way as Tisha. Like, damn, what else do you want from me? Not only that, I didn't even come to this decision just based off those two things. I came to the decision when I saw the confessional later on in the episode. And the confessional, yep, I think Nell is going to pull a Stormy. The reason why is because in Nell's confessional, after Mel ended up asking her, do you want to be friends with Tisha? Is this a friendship that you want? Nell ends up saying in the scene, I'm good. Like, I'm good on her, right? But when you get to the confessional and Nell is talking one-on-one, and y'all all know that the confessionals are filmed after the show is already wrapped, they end up asking her the same question, and Nell ends up saying something like, well, it just, her tone is different. She's saying a lot of words, a lot of unnecessary filler words. It just takes time, and I just have to say that I feel like that time between me and Tisha is just not now. But she still had this like tone about it where she was trying to come off as friendly, nice, and polite in her confessional. So I'm telling y'all, something happens, in my opinion, later on in the season where Nell is gonna want to be cool with Tisha. Either she's gonna want to be cool with Tisha, or she's going to want to maneuver through the group without being recognized as somebody who is team Mel. Because as soon as you do that, it's difficult for you to stay around. Okay. Stormy had to do that. And as much as Tisha get on everybody damn nerves, Tisha, and because she is a Scot, is a huge part of navigating your way through a group. So I think later on, she's going to end up wanting to be cool with Tisha. So I'm not jumping for joy just yet, because I don't think she's going to stay on their neck the whole season. But from what I've seen so far, I'm glad that somebody's there to stay on her neck. Okay? I mean, to stay on their neck, right? Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Nell is basically saying that Tisha is acting differently there than she was at the dinner. And they end up, hold on, I'm mixing up two scenes. So Tiffany is in her confessional saying something like, why are they having this discussion at the baby reveal? And I was thinking to myself, like, not you, not Miss Messy Boots, talking about, it's a place and time. It ain't never a place and time. You talk about people's kids, okay? So I'm just like, girl, bye. So Tiffany ends up joining the group, okay? I know she probably breastfed that baby so fast, like, take him, I gotta go. It's a mess going on. I gotta get to it right now. So Tiffany joins the group, and she ends up saying to Tisha, hey, happy to see you come. I didn't expect you because I sent you the invitation and you didn't RSVP, but it's all good. I'm glad you came, which was a little bit of shade. She ends up asking everybody where Kiki was, and we've already discussed it. Kiki didn't come because she said she was sick, right? So Tiffany basically sits down and she says to everyone, she joins the conversation about the Black Business Expo, because that's what it is now. And Tiffany says, if anybody has ideas, then they can just throw the expo themselves. And Tisha says, yes, that's exactly what I think, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. She don't want to burn that bridge. Now let's get into the Black Business Expo. I'm sorry. I don't know which way I want to say it. Like, naturally, y'all, it is so hard for me to actually call this an expo, because this event they had was the Black Business Expo. I don't care how hard y'all pronounce that X. I don't care how hard y'all pronounce that X. We will not forget that this was the Black Business Expo. We just won't. It just rolled off my tongue too quick. So we get into that conversation. And Nell goes, so what happened with the $100? Stormy and Tisha both looking quiet. Now, Stormy, that same dry ass energy that you had for Tisha when she showed up, that's the same energy you should have had when Nell asked you what happened at the event. Why you want to be quiet now? So they're both sitting there. And Stormy and Tisha ignore her. And Nell says, well, I already know that Tisha ain't talking to me. So Stormy, what happened? Stormy, you ain't got a voice of your own? I'm talking to you. I said, damn. Stormy, you really gonna sit there like you don't hear this lady? Which makes me feel like, I don't know, maybe it's a Scorpio in me, y'all. But when I'm beefing with somebody, I'm beefing with somebody hard, okay? I'm not changing the way that I feel when I'm getting around other people. And just like Monique said, they was looking real quiet because they had an off-screen conversation. Just like Tisha said. Tisha said when they was on the phone, it was all good. Then when you popped up in front of the group, you had to dry ass hate on Tisha. Like y'all really wasn't cool. Like y'all really didn't have a conversation to say that y'all was in a better place. Which one is it, Stormy? What you want to do? Are we good or are we not? I was just like, what is going on? So yeah, Nell said, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Chop, chop, chop. And then Stormy ends up saying, Tisha, do you want to go ahead and tell her what happened at the expo? Stormy. Yeah. Stormy, baby. Decide what you want to do. Okay, so Tiffany. If don't nobody recap the mess, it's gonna be Tiffany. Tiffany, yeah, Stormy was doing the Renaissance challenge. Look around, everybody on mute. She said, well, do we want to tell her what Stormy won the mute challenge, okay? So if don't nobody recap the beef, it's gonna be Tiffany. So Tiffany recapped it and basically was like, they said that some people was paying $100, other people wasn't paying $100. People feel some type of way. Stormy said that her balloon arch cost more than $100, so I'm not sure what's going on. Tisha ends up leaving. Now, you would think that the girl who lightweight act like she wasn't fucking with Tisha wouldn't get up from the table. But Stormy got up from the table to get Tisha and grab Tisha by the arm and tell Tisha, come on, like we can't run every time somebody asks you a difficult question. Let's go sit down and let's face this together. That's what that was. Grabbing her by the arm was let's sit down, let's face this together, because you know that the shit that you have been talking or the energy that you have been projecting in the group ain't the same energy you had on the phone. So anyway, she comes back and Nell ends up addressing Tisha. And she says, well, Tisha, when we was at the dinner, you and your husband said nobody paid. So was that a lie? Was that a lie? And Tisha says, I guess it's whatever it is what it is. It's whatever it is. It was a lie. And then you can see Kimmy face turn like, hold the fuck up, because we know we paid them. So what? The Kimmy took that information in like, hold on, right? And Tisha says, we said we didn't make any money. And everybody's talking to her about the money. It's a bunch of people talking at the same time. And Stormy basically says to her, people are going to be curious about the money. Y'all say y'all are throwing this event. Y'all are charging people money. People don't know where it's going. Y'all say y'all not making no money. So what is it? Now, Tisha says, it's really none of y'all's business and I'm done discussing it. Listen, when you charging somebody $100 to participate in an event, I think it very much is my business where the money is going. I think it is, right? So Kimmy ends up, just intelligently spinning what she said at the beginning, which was now instead of using the word feedback, now she presents it to Tisha and says, maybe we should have a town hall. And it won't be all negative because, I think everyone does have a logical reason to wonder what happened with the event. Now, Tisha doesn't have to show her books to everyone, but I think we should have a town hall. And Tisha goes for it. I think the word town hall must have sounded better than feedback. I don't know why, because town hall to me sound worse than feedback, but whatever. Now we're going to talk about Marsau and Tisha's business practices in a minute. So, now before that scene ends, the scene doesn't end without the women discussing their disdain for Marsau. So Stormy starts off, y'all. And to me, I felt like this was an attempt to project the energy that she still don't fuck with Tisha. This is like the flip-floppiness that I'm saying, y'all. On one end, like, let's just get into the series of events when it comes to Stormy. One end, Tisha walks into the room. You act like you don't want to say, hey, you're projecting to the group. You don't fuck with her, right? Somebody asks you a simple question about why you and Tisha was beefing. You don't want to speak on it. You looking at Tisha like you two have formed a pact that y'all are not going to speak on it. So now it's starting to fuck with her, right? Tisha gets up and walk away. You're the one person to get up and grab her so y'all can sit down and face it together. Oh, so you're fucking with her in this one-on-one scene. You come back to the group, and as soon as you get back to the group, you start making comments that are against Tisha, which was people are going to question where the money is coming from, projecting negativity in front of the group. And then lastly, before that's over, you have to remind the group that you still don't really fuck with Tisha, even though a lot of your actions was kind of mixed up with the words that probably were coming out of your mouth, or the actions was mixed up with the energy that you were showing everybody. So you had to remind everybody that you don't fuck with her by saying to her, hold on, because there's a lot to keep up with, by saying to her that Marsau act like a woman. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I agree with you. I don't know how many times I didn't play the clip of Nene Leakes saying, stop acting like a damn bitch. You need to stop trying to hang with the women. Okay? I feel like I've played that clip many a times for Marsau, and I'm not going to play it again because y'all already know what it is. That's his theme song. But I will say this, Stormy. In what world do you expect Tisha to not align herself with her husband? Like, not just Tisha, any woman for that sake. I think that if your husband was acting an ass, I think that you would have that conversation with your husband, and if he had a little bit of sense, when y'all both pop back out, he will pop out on the right side of things, which was, I apologize, I shouldn't have came at you like that, right? Now, Tisha's husband ain't got no damn sense. So when she came to you the next day, I think what she did was the right thing to do as a wife. I'm not saying that I agree with Marcel's actions, but what I'm saying is, what wife you think is gonna let their husband get charged up in front of somebody? I'm not, y'all gotta listen to this part because somebody is going to misconstrue what I'm saying. Stormy gave Marsau exactly what he was looking for. I'm not mad at it, right? But how crazy would it have been if Tisha sat there and didn't say a word and even aligned herself with Stormy? That would have been odd. However, she probably should have done that. hold on, because I know I'm about to get on y'all's nerves. I'm trying to think from a stance of like, logically, what would a normal person do in day to day? Logically, a normal person day to day would defend their husband. Okay, kind of like if my sister get into a fight with somebody and she wrong, I'm still gonna back up my sister, and then after we get home, I'm gonna tell her about herself. You know what I mean? Like logically, in a normal world, that's what would happen, right? But whenever we think about this, and I'm doing this because I'm trying, like my brain is working this way to go to different ways. But in this Love and Marriage Huntsville universe, we see a universe where the Scott husbands do not defend the wives. Okay. We've seen Maurice do it with Kimmy in Las Vegas in the pool, and however many times they discuss the side chick situation. We have seen Marsau do it whenever people talk about him cheating. I don't think that we've ever heard the words "I've never cheated" come out of his mouth. I think we've heard a lot of like slick things like, where's the proof? People will be calling. I think, we've been hearing a lot of like things. He's never been able to confirm with Tisha that something is or is not true. He's never been able to reassure her. So in the universe of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Tisha should have almost been like, you know what, fuck him. But she's not going to do that. So that's where my brain is tripped up. Normal universe, stick beside him. Love and Marriage Huntsville universe, fuck him. Because that's what he be doing to you every time we see you, okay? And that's when I be saying you got your clown mask on like you always do, because these men always play y'all, the Scott men. They really do. Okay. So Stormy has to remind everybody she don't fuck with them because she decides to disrespect Tisha's man to her face and says not once, but twice, but 3 times that he's acting like a woman. And then whenever the group starts laughing, she says, acting like a bitch. That's what she says. Actually, we might need to even count it 4 times because I think she says something like he should just put a wig on. So she calls your husband a bitch multiple times in front of the group, almost like, hey, watch me disrespect her and her husband and watch her not do nothing about it so y'all can know that I still don't fuck with her like that. It's giving pretty much fake to me. So anyway, Stormy ends up saying that Marsau is the reason why Tisha and her had a moment. And then Mel says, well, Stormy, I'm where you at. I don't want Marsau to get in between me and Tisha's relationship. And I'm not going to even discuss it with Tisha, but I am going to say something to Marsau about it. And, you know, again, they start talking about him acting like a woman. And I believe that this is the 4th time that they say it. Tisha still does not say anything to defend her husband, but you do hear Kimmy jump in and say, he does not act like, and as soon as she says he does not, that's when Tisha says, no, he doesn't act like a woman. So, yeah, I paid attention to that. Kimmy said something to stop y'all from calling him a woman for the 15th time before Tisha did. And Tisha just chimed on to make sure she was involved. Let me stop calling him a woman. Yeah. So Tisha says that she's staying out of his mess. So we move on to Kimmy and Maurice, and they basically update each other on everything that happened at the party. And, you know, he's kikiing about Marcel's comments on Mel selling t-shirts. Now, let's move on from that. We move on to Nell and Mel meeting up at the daycare. Tisha rubbed Nell the wrong way, and Nell says that they've always supported them at Black, right? And she says, you know, I think it's funny that Tisha didn't know that we supported their business, but you claim that you 85% owner of the company. Now they end up playing a flashback of Tisha at dinner, Tisha and Marsau. So let's just say the Scotts and the Fletchers. They end up playing the flashback of the Scotts and the Fletchers at dinner together. And to me, I was like, this is a weird flex, but okay. I was keying and I was living for Nell in this scene. And I'm like surprised that they waited till this episode to show it. So Tisha ends up asking them, how do y'all split y'all's businesses? And Nell and, you know, Chris says 50-50. And she says, oh, okay. And Nell says, what about you? And she says 85%. Basically like, bitch, I'm a real boss. I own my business. Okay. And Nell says, you own 85% of a company that you got kicked out of? Y'all, I screamed because you thought that was a flex. Like, you only own 50, bitch, I own 85. And she was like, I don't get kicked out of my shit. I actually run my shit, right? And that was a simple way to tie that ass up in a bow and be like, okay, what's next? I can tell you about my business. I'm not getting kicked out of my offices, okay? And like I told y'all, I don't know how long, you know, some of us have been friends here, but I feel like I have been talking about the Scotts and their nonprofits for seasons at this point. I don't remember. I can't even tell y'all how long I've been reviewing the show. I've been on YouTube for almost 3 years or 3 years. I think I've been on YouTube for 3 years now, y'all. And y'all know it'd be like 2 seasons a damn year on Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? I have been talking to y'all about the nonprofit schemes for so long. And it's so funny to me. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the people on the show didn't know how they was moving. But I just think it's so funny to me that people have been discussing the Scotts and their shady business practices so much because it's the same shit that we've been talking about. It's the same stuff we've been talking about. So Nell and Mel end up having a conversation about Tisha being 85% business owner of the company, but not really owning shit. And Mel brings up the point that if, the government is finding out that a lot of couples will register the wife as primary owner because you get more opportunities, more grants, more money, right? Now, Mel knows this firsthand. She has multiple businesses. I know she knows this. But even the conversation being had with Kimmy and Stormy and everybody saying, well, what are y'all doing with y'all's money? It's just funny because we never talked about this before. We never talked about this before on the show. Like, they have come to us every other season with some sort of nonprofit money fundraising business. And just like Marsau said, he don't trust nobody in the business, or he doesn't think highly of e-commerce. It feels like you're just throwing something at the wall and waiting for it to stick. That's how I feel about y'all and y'all's nonprofits. That's how I feel like y'all and these 5011 business ventures. It feels like y'all are just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks, doing something nonprofit to counteract it so you don't have to pay, or you could either pay yourself from the money that you collect. That's what it's given. And I just think that it's so funny that we've been talking about it over here in our little circle. So whatever. I'm just saying, y'all, we're not new to this. We're not new to this. So I'm glad that the people on the show are actually saying what they have already been knowing about them for a long time. So it's a government finesse. Now, the other thing that Mel talks about is that the Scotts were hustling to raise $150,000 to buy somebody a house. Y'all, that's another fucking scam. That's another finesse. Why are y'all raising $150,000? How are y'all raising it? It's probably not through no GoFundMe. How are y'all writing it off? How are y'all making it a part of y'all's business? What are you profiting from this is what I want to know. So that's why I was saying last episode, like, get you some business and talk about it on the show, because I want to know what's going on. So then she talks about them being blocked. And as we already discussed, Nell says that she's good on being friends with Tisha. But then in the confessional, she says it'll take time. So it's clear to me that she don't want to burn that bridge. Next, they talk about what's Marcel's issue with women. It's clear he got an issue with women. We don't really know like where that stems from, but he's gotten into it with every single woman on this show. And like Nene Lee says, quit trying to act like a damn bitch, okay? Because it's giving you hate women, and your wife know that. And I hate that she is the one that signed up for that forever. Because you just said you didn't want her on this show in a magnitude of ways. You've said that marriage is an institution. You've said that this is like a life sentence in a magnitude of ways. You've said that you would rather stay with Tisha because of the things that she does as a wife rather than like who Tisha is as a person in a magnitude of ways. You have not defended your wife when she's needed defending or reassured her in a magnitude of ways. And Tisha has still stayed because she needs to prove to us that she's not who we see her to be. So, yeah. Mel basically says that she doesn't want Marsau to get in between her and Tisha. She feels like Marsau doesn't want them to be close because she feels like Tisha is going to be influenced by a strong woman like herself. So, we move on from that to the final scene with he's not only gotten into it with the women on the show, but also in these YouTube streets. Girl, I believe it. The final scene is Mel and Marsau. So y'all do me a favor and like the video, and we can get into the final scene. Okay, cool. So y'all, this final scene, it was like a weird scene to get it to be continued on, in my opinion. I was kind of just like, are we really to be continuing this for what? Like, y'all could have just showed us the whole discussion right now. So Mel shows up. She meets up with Marsau, what seems like outside a coffee shop. And she says, I just wanted to show up and I just wanted to think, like, what would Miss Carolyn want me to do? How would Miss Carolyn want me to express myself? And if you don't remember, Miss Carolyn was the one who hosted the tea party for me. And I want to exude that. So I'm deciding to go here instead of over there. I'm deciding to be polite for a little bit. And then I'm going to cuss your ass out a little bit later on, is what Mel was giving. Cuss your ass out just a little bit, not too much, is what Mel was giving. So Marsau ends up saying, that's good. That's really good. That's great. I think that's good because we're both two intelligent adults. And I'm pretty sure that if we said something about it, anything we said, we have reason behind it, right? So anyway, she says, well, let's talk about the reasoning. She ends up talking about the dinner that he had with Nell and says that, you said something about me running a t-shirt business. And I think you and I both know that my business acumen runs much further than just a t-shirt business, much further in my male voice, right? And he says, well, first of all, I didn't even call you by name. What I did say was we were paying for the event ourselves. And why would I pay someone to come and talk about a t-shirt business? So you were talking about Nell. Let's be for real. Like, quit playing dumb. You repeated back what you said factually, but we all supposed to play dumb. That's Marcel's issue. He think everybody around him is dumb as a box of rocks, or will live in delusion and play dumb for him to, portray whatever he wants to portray. So, anyway, he says, well, honestly, I don't have a high opinion of the e-commerce business. And Mel says, you don't have a high opinion of what? He says, of the e-commerce business. And she says, well, that's the same business that you try to play in. And I know y'all remember when Tisha was on the show walking around in the Team Wife shirt. Y'all remember that? She was trying to make t-shirts too and sell t-shirts and make money. Yeah. So she says, you don't have a high opinion of the business you in? Then why the hell are you in it? And he says, to make money now. And I believe him. It's that simple. Just to make money, right? But what I can't stand is we're not going to act like Mel doesn't have the business acumen like outside of selling t-shirts. And Marsau for damn sure should know that the reason why he's on the show is because of Mel. So that's business within itself. Mel pitched the show and got you on the show so that way y'all can move from house to house and renovate. Still not enough to get y'all on the 47 acres, but it's enough to have y'all essentially find unique ways to continue to bring in money, i.e. scam, i.e. start a new business, i.e. fundraise money, keep the profit, get tax write-offs, get women-owned grants, black-owned business grants, who knows, right? So I was just kind of annoyed that, this all dwindled down to a conversation about t-shirts when Marsau knows firsthand she got you on the show, but I guess there's nothing that you could really say on the show. Yes, it is. Okay, Team Wife is Mel's. Okay. Oh, that's what it was. Team Wife was Mel's. That's funny. Okay. So anyway, they kind of start chopping it up back and forth. Mel starts turning up on his ass. And she says, I really wanted to come talk to you because I feel like you don't want me to get cool with Tisha because you don't want Tisha to get the strength of a woman like me because she'll finally get the strength to leave your lying ass. I said, ew. And then all of a sudden we get a to be continued. So this is the thing, y'all. I'm not going to get too excited because what? Is Tisha really going to leave Marsau? Is Marsau really going to be exposed on the show? I don't think so, y'all. I don't think so. What I do think is that that's true. What I do think is that we'll just see Marsau shaking in his boots. And this is going to be an argument that I don't think that he's going to win. He's going to have to bow out of this one gracefully. And I'm actually glad that we have people on the show that actually challenge Marsau. We saw Courtney do it. We saw Stormy do it. We see Mel doing it and Nell. And it's about damn time. Somebody gonna have to do it, y'all. So that was pretty much it for the episode, y'all. It was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. It just threw me off at the end of the episode whenever they like turn that argument into a to be continued, because everything in my bones is telling me that when we get back to the argument next week, there's not going to be a big bomb coming out of this argument. It's just going to be an argument that turns into something else. So I'm like, y'all could have just showed the whole thing in one clip. And yeah, I do think that Tisha was influenced by Nell back then when it came to the blueprint and the mommy podcast and the whatever business that she came up with 5 years ago, right? And honestly, I think that part of the reason why Tisha was so dead set on disliking Mel was because she probably was hearing her husband talk shit about Mel for the longest. I feel like Marsau talked a lot of shit about Mel to Tisha in order to, you know, cause friction, to build a bridge in between them. And Tisha is lightweight jealous of Mel, in my opinion. I really think so. I think she wanted to be her friend, but I think she's also kind of feeling the way that Mel left. I think she's feeling a way that Mel got a lot of fans behind leaving her husband, and Tisha ain't ever gonna do that shit. So Tisha, to me, was living in some sort of misery, and she kept trying to project it on the Mel. That's just my opinion based on what I see on the show. So yeah, it's just crazy to me. I'm with you naturally, Mars. Somebody needs to check him because his wife won't. And then Lisa says Tisha knows, but she has comfort in the discomfort, unfortunately. That's absolutely right. Yeah, what happened to it? So that's all I got, y'all. This week, Ooh Ladies First Panel will be hosted on my channel on Thursday. So y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, share it with a friend so we can all be friends. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.